Hey guys, I'm having a hell of a week so far, but it's providing me with a little bit of insight into why I'm so analytical with the music that I listen to. And I think that it's because I jumped in at a young age and I just immersed myself in all that I could within the metal genre. I realized it was something that spoke to me, and I wanted to understand it the best way I could. I didn't want to just find out what I liked. I wanted to explore the ins and outs of it. I wanted to see why artists did the things they did, what they did to depict the ideas that they wanted to. And I was able to pinpoint strengths and weaknesses, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people do. And I think that comes with a long history of perspective that you develop from trying to explore that kind of craft. And a lot of people, I think, just find what they like, they settle with that, and it becomes the soothing thing that they have in the background when they want to go about their day. But other people that want to explore more and go deeper and find out what makes it what it is, I think that that's when you start to develop this kind of mindset. But you can only really do that when you start to dull that excitement that comes from seeing something that intrigues you for the first time. I remember the first metal show I ever went to was, I mentioned it in a previous video, it was Immolation at Jackhammer's in Chicago. And it was the first band I ever saw within the metal genre live was this opener called In Spite of You. It was all one word, and they were really bad. But I was I was enthralled by it. Just the overall aesthetic, just the idea that I was hearing this loud, angry music for the first time. It was super exciting, and I thought it was awesome. And I know a lot better now. Another band that played the show was a band called Fear Spawned Religion, and that it was absurdly fast death metal. I thought it was really cool for what it was. And then Immolation, who I was familiar with from the Here and After record, came on, and then I was set. I knew exactly where my footing was with music. I knew what I wanted to listen to. I knew what I wanted to do. And over the years, that excitement with the aesthetics kind of wore pretty thin, and I started to appreciate more solid, holistic works that were more artistic statements than something that was just appealing to my ear for just the background, whatever I just wanted to listen to make my day more tolerable. That wasn't cutting it anymore. I wanted to go deeper and find more things that represented real artistry. And there's a wealth of that in metal, and that's not to say that the stuff that is a little more shallow isn't worth exploring. There's utility and all that kind of shit, but I get a lot of flack for championing really strong things and shitting on really weak things. But I think that if you were to have the years of listening under your belt, you could start peeling back a lot of your preferences and seeing the strengths for what they really are. And it takes distancing yourself from the act of listening to do that. But not a lot of people want to do that. And a couple things happened to me this week to really kind of bring that to the forefront with how I process information, how I process scenarios, and it's starting to make a little more sense. And it's pretty cool that I'm learning stuff about myself at this age. But a couple of days ago, I was walking my dog, same route I've taken for years, and someone ran up on me with a gun and demanded that I give him all the stuff I had on me, which I did. I didn't, it was my first time with this kind of experience, so I didn't feel like being a hero. I wasn't in the mindset to do anything to try to defend myself. I just wanted to get through the scenario in the safest possible way. Didn't have a weapon or anything on me. I had just come from work, so unfortunately I had all my shit on me. He made off with both of my personal and work phone and my keys, my wallet, and it wasn't all that awesome. I'm not like traumatized or anything. I'm more inconvenienced. I'm pretty upset that I have to start over with a lot of these IDs and all that shit. It's really annoying. But the 2 days after that, I'm pulling into a parking spot in a gas station, and some bozo opens up his car door, and he clearly didn't look in his mirrors when he was opening his door, and I kind of sardine canned his car door a little bit, and he got pretty fucking mad, and I get it, but he's trying to blame me, and I'm normally a very empathetic person. So in most scenarios, whether or not I fucked up, I'm usually apologetic, and I try to fix things. And I think that's a result of me, having that kind of upbringing where I've been shat on. Everybody's been shat on, and I don't like putting people in those positions, so I try to help it. This time I didn't do that, and then it's a result of having this week of bullshit that I've had. I felt nothing for this guy. Like, obviously he's at fault, but I didn't feel the need to empathize with him in any way. I just said, what do you want to do here? You call the cops, they're going to say it's your fault. We can do whatever you want to do, but I'm trying to get to work. You're trying to get to work. Just tell me what you want to do so I can get the fuck on with my day. I didn't care. And normally I do care. And I think that just that little bit of experience I had earlier in the week changed how I would have processed this new scenario. Because I admittedly haven't had a whole lot of traumatic events in my life. I've had family members die and shit like that. Who hasn't? But as far as like having a legitimate threat portrayed to me, not really that much of that. But I'm already seeing that it's coloring how I process things. And I think that scenario, that dulling of my emotions to the point where I could just rationalize and say, hey, this guy fucked up. I'm not going to put myself out there for him. Who fucking cares? I think that wouldn't have happened if I had been my normal empathetic self that was used to emoting. But I was just very rational in this instance, and I just didn't care. I did not care about this guy and his car. I just wanted to get about my day, and I am normally very empathetic, but not this time at all. And I think the same thing happened with how I processed music. That excitement from finding shit that is pleasing to your ear, that's the superficialities of it, kind of just wore pretty thin. And, I still love the aesthetics of metal. I like hearing loud, heavy music. I love hearing, good melodies, shit like that. I like, speed, all of the aesthetics that metal champions. I still am a fan of that, but I need a whole lot more to keep me engaged. And I think the same thing happened here, where now that I've got a little more life experience under my belt, trivial shit where I would normally be an emotive mess just doesn't really affect me as much. And I hope that's the case. I don't need to fucking bend over backwards apologizing for people at my age when I know I'm not at fault. It's fucking stupid. But yeah, I think that a lot of the kids that are into the modern shit, they hear the aesthetic, they like the aesthetic, and they're not into going deeper, and they haven't tried to go deeper. And I don't think that A is better than B because you have to compare it to B. I think there is objective merit to everything, but you have to be willing to be open to that. And it's not so much willing, but you have to be wired for it. And a lot of people aren't wired for it. They want that easy stimulus that you get. The social media era fucked everything up with that. But if you're in it for the long haul, you want to see a timeless classic unfold in front of you, you're eventually going to get bored of flash in the pan, aesthetic driven artists, and you're going to look for something better. At least I would hope. It would happen naturally. It's what happens naturally over time, and people attribute that with being jaded and being old and being, get off my lawn, yell at clouds, and I get it, and people, when they age, they realize they're being replaced, and they lash out, and they realize they don't belong in a modern world, and that's frustrating. But I don't care about where I belong. I'm just still in pursuit of excellence. I want to see excellence. So I hope that as the youth today that listen to trash, as they age, I hope that they start to pursue excellence as well. And I think that comes from trying to not be driven by your emotions, and to have all that excitement that comes with flash in the pan aesthetics, have that kind of fade away with perspective and with time. And it's exciting to me that, it took a fucking, something threatening to make me more rational. But I like that there's room for growth there, and I'm excited to see how much more of an asshole I can become. So hopefully you'll see more of that unfolding on this channel. But yeah, just a theory, and I do hope that as kids that listen to trash now, I hope that as they age, they start understanding that it's not so much you lashing out at the modern world because you don't belong in it, but because perspective brings you the insight that there is objectively great stuff out there, and maybe it's your own preferences that prevent you from finding it. So that's about all I have to say about that. Thank you for listening.